Chapter 1, The Vineyard of Naboth. Naboth was a righteous man who owned a vineyard near the palace of King Ahab in Samaria. Ahab desired the vineyard to turn it into a vegetable garden and offered to buy it or exchange it for a better one. However, Naboth refused to sell it, as it was an inheritance from his fathers and the law of Moses prohibited selling family inheritance. Ahab returned to his palace, sad and angry. His wife Jezebel, seeing him so downcast, decided to take matters into her own hands. Chapter 2, The Conspiracy of Jezebel. Jezebel, seeing her husband Ahab so sad and refusing to eat, decided to intervene. Taking Ahab's royal seal, Jezebel wrote letters to the elders and nobles of the city, ordering them to hire false witnesses to accuse Naboth of blasphemy. In those times, being condemned for blasphemy meant not only death by stoning but also the dispossession and expulsion of the entire family of the condemned. Thus, Naboth was unjustly accused, condemned, and stoned to death. His family was evicted and stripped of all their possessions, expelled from the town of Israel. Jezebel, with her cunning and malice, managed to obtain the vineyard for Ahab, but at a terrible cost. Chapter 3, The Judgment of God. After Jezebel managed to have Naboth unjustly stoned to death and his family expelled, Ahab took possession of Naboth's vineyard. However, God did not ignore this injustice. God sent the prophet Elijah to confront Ahab while he was in Naboth's vineyard. Elijah told Ahab that God had seen what he had done and would punish him severely. Elijah prophesied that in the same place where the dogs licked Naboth's blood, the dogs would also lick Ahab's blood. Additionally, Elijah told Ahab that his lineage would be destroyed and that Jezebel would also face a terrible fate. The dogs would devour Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Later, in a battle at Ramoth-Gilead, Ahab was wounded by an arrow and died. His blood was washed from the chariot in a pool in Samaria, and the dogs licked his blood, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy. As for Jezebel, years later, she was thrown from a window by order of Jehu, a new king anointed by God. Her body was devoured by dogs, just as Elijah had prophesied. Divine Justice. This story shows how divine justice always prevails. Although Naboth and his family suffered a great injustice, God did not ignore their suffering. The deaths of Ahab and Jezebel, and the fulfillment of Elijah's prophecies, are a reminder that God sees all actions and judges with justice. God rewards those who love Him and practice His justice, even if we do not see the reward immediately. In the new earth and in eternity, God will reward His faithful for their earthly sufferings and losses. I hope this story has been helpful to you and has provided a deeper understanding of divine justice and the implications of our disobediences.